Let's raise our voices together and stand and joining us in singing I Start My Day.
I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. When I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
All right, everyone, wonderful. Let's take a moment and greet each other, but when you hear the music of the next song, please come back to your places. Aspiration.
I wake up and the sun is shining. It makes the world look bright, and all of the joy and the love come into my life today. A song of praise, the birds are singing, singing with all their might, and all of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love into my life today. All of the joy and the love into my life today. The Spirit of the Christ is risen, risen within my soul, and all of the joy and the love come into my life today. I now am well, I now am healthy, I am healed and whole, and all of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love into my life today. All of the joy and the love into my life today. Into my life today. Into my life today.
All right. All right. Good morning, everybody can have a seat. And I just wanted to say we are on our own as a community today. Yay, we are going. So, anyway, I wanted just to welcome everyone and all of you here to Unity of Blooming today. As you are reminded, we are in a transition period while we are beginning our search for our next right minister, and we are all blessed to have all of you here today and everyone who may be visiting us online as well. So now it is time to go through our, I believe it is our mission statement. So let's affirm this together. We are Unity of Bloomington, a heart-centered community seeking spiritual awakening and transformation. We are deepening our connections with God, self, and others, and attracting our next right minister. Wonderful. We also have believe that we have a transition affirmation that we wanted to say together. And I believe if everybody picked it up with their the pink sheet, and this is our transition affirmation. So if you didn't have it, I don't know if we have it up on the screen. But
It's in your bulletin as well.
It's also in the bulletin, transition on the one fold there. And so let's say that and affirm that together. Unity of Bloomington is generating an abundant future in expansive alignment with Spirit. We lean deeply into truth principles, live our faith, and trust the process. Our greatest desire is to be abundant and attract those who value spiritual growth, including our next right minister. Wonderful. So, we are now going to sing a song for you. And you can sing along with us.
If you want to, because you will know part of this. And not only does it go along with Wendy's message today, but it also goes along with the transition that we are in right now. To everything, there is a season, and we are in that season.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
We now get to the main event, and we are so blessed to have Wendy Wonderley to speak with us today. And I believe Wendy is going to give us her talk and then we're going to have a meditation after a song, and then you're going to be leading something after the service today, and that'll be exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm not sure I have anything to add to that, beyond that song. It kind of said it all, right? And we're going to get to the seasons and all that. But first, I want to entertain a different thought: desire. So we all have desires. We all have big desires, little desires, secret desires, petty desires, desires we wish we didn't have. So just think for a moment about all of those things. And now I'm going to suggest to you that every desire we have is a reflection of our desire for God. Our true desires are reflections of our desire for God. And if that's too big of a leap, how about our true desires are desires for an aspect of God? So our desires for peace, for health, for safety, for joy. Those are our true desires. And what we're really trying to do is to get closer to God, to get back to God. So when we hunger, you can think of that as a hunger for God. When we thirst, that's really a thirst for God. When we feel empty, that's really the emptiness that comes from not feeling connected to God. And how do we go about satisfying these desires? Well, the best way is to just get connected to God, right? But there are maybe some interim steps to that. And so those are our true desires. There are also desires that don't fall into that category, and those are desires of our ego. Our ego always wants more, whatever it is. More stuff, more ice cream, more whatever. And how do you tell if it's a true desire or a false desire? Well, it's pretty simple. Does it bring you closer to an attribute of God or further away from it? Would eating that whole tub of ice cream bring you closer to health, peace, joy, or further away from it? So that's a pretty easy test there. It is for that. Sometimes it's not so easy because our ego is very clever and can convince us, your desire is happiness, and if you had this thing, you would be happy. And so you go out and you get the thing, and then maybe you're happy for a little bit, but usually you're on to something else, right? So let's try and get in touch with our true desires, which is to be more connected to God, to have more of God in our lives. I'm going to read you a short quote from A Course in Miracles. No one created by God can find joy in anything except the eternal. Not because they are deprived of anything else, but because nothing else is worthy of them. And that's how we should think of ourselves. Nothing but true desire for God, for attributes of God, are worthy of us. So, but while we're in this world and we're dealing with this three-dimensional world, there are ways that make it easier for you to get connected to God than others. Being here in a community of like-minded, lovely people is a wonderful way
to do that. And I'm going to talk about some more of those tools. So we sung about the seasons and, you know, how they change and whatnot. And we are creatures of this earth. We all experience the seasons, and we all have some inherent, I don't know if ups and downs is the right word, but inherent connection to them. So in the spring, it may yet be a bright, beautiful day, but not quite. But Karen and I have been out a lot the last week or so, and it's been just glorious. The leaves are so fresh and green, and you can't, the sun is shining, you can't help but be buoyed by that. Well, what we want to do is to be conscious about that. We want to work with these energies instead of fight them. So when we're out and we're experiencing the joy of spring, realize that's the joy of happiness. That's the joy of God. That's what's going on there. So more of that, please. In the fall, different story, although it's fall still lovely in its own way, but fall maybe has more of an overall theme of letting go. And I'm not going to belabor that a whole lot. I think that's hopefully fairly obvious. We're creatures of this earth. We're born here, we grew up here. We're probably going to stay here until we die. And we are influenced by all of these energies that have to do with the earth and the sun and the moon and all kinds of things. And we may or may not be aware of them. And I'm going to suggest that if we do be aware of them and work with those energies when they're there, that it makes things easier for us. It makes it easier for us to connect with God. It makes it easier for us to manifest peace and joy and loveliness in our lives. So, Seb, first slide, please. So the ancient people knew this. They knew it very well. We've got, of course, the seasons. We're in spring now, in case you hadn't noticed. And the times that were really important to those ancient people had to do with, well, let's face it, with food. Where are the animals going to be? When do I need to plant? Those kinds of things. And one way to keep track of time is, the easiest way to keep track of time is with the moon. So you have you can go out at night and you can see the full moon. You can go out at night and see no moon. And some cultures did that. Some cultures had a strictly lunar calendar. The problem with that is that if you follow it strictly, you will get out of alignment with the solar calendar. That's why we have leap days and leap seconds and whatnot every so often, is to realign the lunar calendar with the solar calendar. So one of the easiest way to track the solar calendar is through the equinoxes and the solstices. And the way that these people would do that is they would watch, where does the sun come up? Where does it set? And if you do that every day, you will see that that it changes a little bit each day. So there's a day that we have the maximum amount of sun, that's our summer solstice. There's a day when we have the minimum amount of sun, and that's our winter solstice. And then in between those, we have the equinoxes, which are, you guessed it, equal night and day. But in between those, there are what they call the cross-quarter days. And we are close to one right now. We're close to one called Beltane, which actually was a few days ago. But we're going to use that energy of Beltane. So Beltane's in between the spring equinox, which is kind of the beginning of spring, and the summer solstice, which is full-blown summer. And this particular cross-quarter day, it's about fertilizing. It's about enhancing. So you planted your seeds, be they physical or metaphorical, on the spring equinox. And now, on Beltane, you're going to do something to make sure they keep growing. And that energy is out there. It's also known as May Day. So if you think of the May Day pole, what that is a symbol of, you can understand fertilization. Karen and I were out the other day, and we saw a couple of snakes intertwined, tying the knot, as it were. And it's like, yep, this is the time of year. We also saw birds defending their nests and defending their territories. We saw baby eagles being fed. And that's all about this time of nurturing and enhancing. And that's partly what we're celebrating today, both in our own lives for unity, starting this process. We've already started this process, but now we're going to nurture and enhance this process of building to what it is we want eventually it to be. And that's part of what our ceremony is going to be about. So we have these seasons, these solstices and equinoxes, and they're all great for something. And I'm not going to go into every detail because you can look it up. You can intuit for yourself. What does this mean for me? And get on board with it. There are also, sunrises. Great time to start things. Do your affirmations or decrees or whatever. There's sunsets when it's dark. Time to slow down. Our bodies know this. On some level, we know this and we get this. So the same with the moon. We have full moons that are good for certain things. We have new moons, half moons, waxing, waning, when you want to manifest something, when you want to let something go, get on the right ride the right energy for that. It's out there. Those energies are out there, and we can use them. We had an eclipse a couple days ago on Friday. It was a lunar eclipse. We couldn't see it here in Bloomington because it was daylight, but it was still going on. And so I used that opportunity to get rid of a really thorny issue I've been having for a while that's just not cooperated. Has just dug in. And so eclipses for me are about disruption. So I wanted to disrupt my thinking about that. I wanted to get rid of those energies within me that are holding me back and keeping me from being directly connected to God. And so I did a little ceremony, a little healing ceremony during the eclipse. And you know what? It really worked. It was really cool. And so so these things are out there. If you know of them, it's like riding the wave, Don't get beat up by the wave. Get on your surfboard and ride the wave, and your life can be a whole lot easier. We can use things like the elements, earth, wind, and fire, and water. We're going to use fire in our ceremony afterwards. Fire is the fastest form of transformation. Water, a little bit slower. Air, a lot slower, but they're all there. And there's sometimes when you want to release something fast, and there are other times when you want to release it gently. So you might choose some other element to work with on those. In Chinese medicine, we often also include ether in with the elements, and in Chinese medicine they have wood and metal and all kinds of things. All has to do with the speed of transformation. We can work with our cardinal directions, north, east, south, west. Pretty much all cultures think of east as a place of beginnings and west as a place of endings for obvious reasons. But different cultures have different interpretations of north and south. But you might, when you're doing your, when I was doing my little ceremony to release, I'm gonna, see, that's north. So I'm gonna face west. I'm going to face west and let that energy of the west help me release. And then I'm going to turn to the east and bring something else in. We can work with all kinds of things, crystals, colors, sounds. They're all out there. And another thing that's really, really powerful to work with, Seb, next slide, please, are sacred sites. Sacred sites, going to a sacred site and getting in line with the energy there and letting it open you up, letting it help you move something along. And all of these are aligned, were built in alignment with solstices and equinoxes and maybe here in Egypt it was important, the first rising of Venus was very important because it signaled when the Nile would flood. So there's an alignment there too. Next slide. Machu Picchu, top of a mountain, absolute wonderful sacred site to visit. We did some nice meditations there. And again, it's astrologically aligned. And all of these like major sacred sites, you can think of them as like acupuncture points on the earth. Points, and they have different functions. And so you can use them in different ways and get that boost from them. Next slide, please. Chichen Itza. This one down in Mexico, maybe a little easier for us to get to. This one is aligned with the spring equinox. When the sun comes up, the shadow on one of those sides, it actually looks like a snake moving. We weren't there on the spring equinox, but we were there to watch the sunrise, and it was, Karen can attest to, it was a pretty amazing experience. Partly because we were there with that intention to open up to it and to receive that energy and to work with it. Next slide. Teotihuacan is outside of Mexico City. Huge site. Again, astrologically aligned. Actually, all of these are astrologically aligned. Almost all. They didn't realize this until a few years ago. And when they did, archaeologists started looking for it, and they've almost always found it. Even on not just sacred sites, but villages. These people knew, let's get in line with these energies. They knew how to use it. Next slide. Chaco Canyon. You've heard of the sun dagger that comes through one of those holes in the spring equinox? Pretty cool. Next slide. Stone circles. This is one in Ireland that I thought we were there for half an hour. Karen claims we were there for 3 hours, so there was definitely some time warping going on. Next slide. And they can be constructed. Chartres Cathedral in Chartres, France. Nice day trip from Paris. It's built on an ancient pagan site. It is aligned. On the summer solstice, the light comes in through the window honoring Saint Apollinaire, Apollo, the sun god. Next slide. This particular one, if you visit it, you'll want to visit it on Friday because it has a labyrinth. And Friday is the day when they take the chairs off of the labyrinth and you can actually walk it. So a labyrinth is a way that you can create your own kind of sacred site. Actually, you can create your own sacred site. You are your own sacred site, but you can consciously create it in any number of ways. Next slide. This is one that Karen and I built at our home in Arizona. And we would walk it daily, and it was so nice just to open up to it and just allow your mind to expand and go wherever it would go. Next slide. And these can be places in nature. Any place that feels alive and has a spirit is fair game for you to use. Grand Canyon. I think Dave had just visited this. And there's some head nodding going on. You get there and your mind is opened up. Next slide. Of course, you can go to these things and be just totally, Grand Canyon, nice place to, I heard a tale of the cowboy saying, yeah, it's a great place to throw your used razor blades. Any place, waterfalls are great, the moving, living water. When we were looking for a new place to live, one of my requirements was that we had to live in a place with living water. And you know it when you're around it. Next slide. Our Indiana forests, a lot of them. You just walk into one of our forests and you just, this is great. And recognize that energy and work with it. This is you getting closer to God. This is you letting more of God into you. That's what's going on here. Next slide. This is a place Karen and I visited last weekend. It's outside of Evansville. It's called Angel Mounds Historical Site. Maybe some of you have been there. They just discovered it's astrologically aligned. Pretty amazing. And it's not a temple per se. It's a village. But it's just amazing what they're finding now when they look for it. Next slide. And you can create your own sacred space and ceremony. It can be a pretty elaborate ceremony. These Karo shaman are doing a ceremony called a despacho. After the service, for those of you that want to hang around and participate, we're going to be doing a Karo fire ceremony. It'll be indoors because there was just uncertainty about what it was going to be like outdoors. And our ceremony today, we're going to use a lot of those elements. We're going to use fire. Each one that comes will be able to work on two issues of your choosing. And we're going to give them to the fire, and the fire is going to transform them instantly. And then we're going to take that energy and we're going to move forward and look for instances of opportunities to choose again, to choose correctly, to anchor that transformation. We're also going to be, we're going to use sound. We're going to do a little rattling and chanting to help put us in that right frame of mind. We're going to, we're doing it in the time of Beltane, so we're riding that spring energy. I was checking the directions here, and this church, when it was built, it's almost due north. So it's very interesting. Someone did that intentionally. Someone built this very intentionally to be a sacred space. I thought that was very cool. Even just in the design of your house, if you have the chance ever to do that, the house works better if you have the opportunity to say, okay, well, we're here and we want to use the solar heating, so we're going to align it this way instead of this way. It's all working with the earth energies. They're all here for us. We just need to be in tune with them and conscious of them and aware of them. Okay, so I do hope that that this has been a little bit helpful to you in terms of using some of these tools to help manifest your desires and to be a little more in touch maybe with your desires and how to bring it all together. And with that, we are going to go into meditation, but first, a lovely song from the Unity Music Team. Relax. Stretch out a little bit. Maybe stretch your shoulders, your neck. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths, which will be in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. Just let it all go. And for this meditation, we're going to bring in an aspect of God, and that aspect is joy. So on your in-breath, breathe in joy in through your crown, into your heart, and on your exhale, breathe it out to the rest of your body. Inhale joy, exhale joy. Joy, joy. Into every crevice, every nook and cranny of your body. Into every atom, every molecule, every bone, every organ, every system of your body. And if there's a particular area of your body that needs just a little more joy, let's breathe it into that. Joy, joy. Full of joy, overflowing with joy. And now I'd like you to turn your attention to that divine spark that is within you. It's in all of us, that little spark that's always connected to God. And let's feed that spark with our joy. So inhale joy, feed your divine spark with joy. Feel that spark getting bigger, getting brighter. Feel it becoming a flame. Feel that divine flame in you, that God flame in you. Joy, joy. Feel that flame consuming everything within you that is unlike joy. Bring to that flame anything within you that is unlike joy. Feel that divine flame, receive it, and consume it, transform it into more joy. Feel any darkness in you and bring that to your divine flame. Let it all be consumed by that joyous divine flame within you. The Spirit within you, the God within you. And if there's any particular situation you want to bring to that flame, to have it consume all that is unlike joy, bring that to your divine flame now. Feel that joy, that flame consuming it, transforming it. Feel that lightening up, brightening up. Joy, joy, joy. The joy of spring, the joy of new beginnings, all right here within you. And we're going to go into a moment of silence and just hold that flame, hold that joy within you in the quiet. Joy, nothing but joy. And now slowly come back. Slowly come back. Stretch and integrate that joy, that flame into your body. And just remember that joy, that divine spark, that divine flame is there. You can always count on it. You can always connect with it. Thank you. Namaste.
Here I am. is made known on the earth, to be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on the earth. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
Thank you. Thank you, wonderfully, wonderly, Wendy. Thank you for us. It is now time to practice our areas of gratitude. And so I'd like you to hold your gift, whether it is a gift of monetary or holding a gift of love and energy that you're going to put into the basket for us, or just information, prayer requests. If you're a new member today, you can give us your impressions. And all that put into the love offering bag as it goes around today. And I believe we have a opportunity to give by text, and we also have an affirmation. I think, Seb, is that a slide there? Otherwise, it is in your bulletin, and it's the abundance affirmation on the sleeve on there. And so let's affirm that together. I am an abundant being in an abundant universe. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
My mind is open to changing the world. Let it begin, let change begin with me. My heart embraces a world wrapped in peace. Let it begin, let peace begin with me. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love, unfolding. My eyes envision a world aglow in love. Let it begin, let love begin with me. We move together toward all that is just. Let it begin, let justice begin with us. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love, we are love, we are love. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love, unfolding. We are love, unfolding.
Thank you all. Thank you for providing your gifts of your service and your talent. And we appreciate as we move forward with our community as we are growing and searching for our next right minister. I think there might be a couple of announcements. I know we have. Next week is Mother's Day, and we have an amazing panel of women who are going to be speaking. Susan Dabkowski, Cricket Who's, and Mary Medor will be sharing with us next week. I think I've heard there might be pie after. Pie after. So it's wonderful. All right. And then is it also next week we are providing childcare and activities for ages 3 to 12. And they're offered for this Mother's Day service. So children will be making gifts using materials. So if you have friends and family, it's time. Let's see the kids next week on Mother's Day. And we look forward to having you all in our space. All right, any other announcements? Oh, May 21st is an all-music Sunday. So we will be providing the message through music. And that's going to be always a fun time. So, Phyllis, is there a choir that
Yes.
Sunday? There is a choir. So if you're wanting to practice with the choir, when is rehearsals, Phyllis?
When we can work them in next week, we hope.
Okay, next week. All right, wonderful. All right. Any other announcements? I know that there's a sign up for snacks in the back. We're probably looking at May, but maybe June is up there too. If not, we'll get June up next week. But everyone can bring snacks to share and have service and community within at the end of the service. I think after this, we are going to take a quick break, and then we will reconvene for the fire ceremony. So I look forward to that. All right. It is our closing prayer for protection. So if everybody would stand, and let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So let's form a circle, join hands, and sing the peace song.